Hello everybody, this is Gerds, and we're going to take a quick look at the interface for Adobe After Effects. The first place to start learning about After Effects is of course with the interface itself, since you're going to be staring at it the entire time. In the upper left hand corner is the drop down menus, File, Edit, Composition, and so on. Just below that are a series of icons which are the toolbar. Just below the toolbar on the upper left hand side is the project window. The project window is where we'll be storing still images, videos, clips, and things like that, and allowing us to organize them. To the right of the project window is the composition window. The composition window, also nicknamed viewer, because this is where we will view our information. However, the composition window is not a passive thing. You can actually manipulate things right inside of it. Across the very bottom of the area is the timeline. The timeline is, of course, where you'll be manipulating all the information to create your video. Now, looking at the upper right-hand side, you'll see a whole series of panels going from the top to the bottom. These panels contain a lot of information. As a matter of fact, what you're seeing in front of you only is a small fraction of the possible number of panels that can appear in After Effects. To give you a small idea of how many panels there really are, let me just take a moment to open up one of the other views. Now keep in mind, you don't need all of these panels open simultaneously. I don't show these to you to scare you off. I'm showing you all these panels just to show you that there's a lot more information than you see when you first turn on a piece of software. The good news is you only need to bring these up when you're doing specific work. For the most part, you can leave it in what's referred to as the standard layout. Now, the other thing I want to show you that is under the Windows pull-down menu, if you should happen to close or lose any of your panels, you can come back and reopen them. You can see that if it's checked, it's visible to your eye. If it's unchecked, it means it's either closed or hidden from your view. Take, for example, the upper right-hand corner. In the upper right-hand corner, we actually have a situation where we have two items, one behind the other. By simply clicking on the name or the little tab of the palette at the top, we can jump back and forth between the two different palettes. So what do we do if we need to see both of these palettes simultaneously? Well, we can actually customize and rearrange the entire After Effects window screen any way that we want to. By grabbing the little tab at the top, we can hold down our left mouse button and move the palette anywhere on the screen. Notice when we put it on top of another palette, we actually get a little 5 choices to choose from. Top, bottom, right, left, and of course center. If you choose to say the left-hand side, it will take that one palette and put it to the immediate left of the palette you were putting it on top of. If you were to grab it and put it at the top, it'll put it at the top, and so on and so forth. But if you should happen to put it in the center portion of the other palette, it will create a tab within a tab in the new space. This movement and manipulation will allow you to create whatever custom workspace that you want. Even though you can change everything, I do recommend for beginners to stick with the standard layout, and that's what we'll be using for the majority of these tutorials. Now, besides the various panels and tabs, you should also be aware that you can rearrange the areas by simply putting your mouse in between any two panels, and you can drag with the left mouse button down to readjust the size. If you put your mouse onto a corner of 3 or more palettes touching, you can actually grab and readjust all 3 of them simultaneously. One of the things that you should have noticed also is whenever you click on any panel, a little yellow golden line appears around it. That little yellow line is telling you that After Effects is paying attention to that panel and that panel alone. When you first start out, that's not very critical, but under some circumstances, it changes the way the keyboard commands work and the way other things work inside of After Effects. Alright, that wraps up the basic overview of the interface for Adobe After Effects.